seara! Bine v-am regăsit la o nouă ediție a UMFST Live. Eu sunt Dălălău Adrian și sunt student în anul 3 la Inginerie, Economică, Industrială și totodată sunt președintele Asociației STM LG Târgu Mureș. Tema de astăzi are ca și obiectiv prezentarea unor studenți de la Inginerie Economică Industrială din Europa, prezenți în această săptămână la un eveniment organizat de STM Târgu Mureș. Înainte de a trece mai departe la prezentarea studenților, aș dori să fac o mică introducere și să prezint cu ceea ce este STM-ul. STM-ul, ca și nume, reprezintă Asociația Studenților de Inginerie Economică Industrială din Europa, European Students of Industrial Engineering and Management. Se regăsește în peste 74 de universități din întreaga Europa. Organizăm anual peste 180 de evenimente internaționale. În această asociație se regăsesc 8.000 de studenți de la Inginerie Economică Industrială. Asociația a fost fondată în 1990 și este o asociație făcută de studenți pentru studenți. În această săptămână, STM Târgu Mureș organizează evenimentul intitulat Europe 3D. Europe 3D este un eveniment care are ca și obiectiv prezentarea regiunii și a orașului nostru din 3 perspective: cultural, politic și economic. Iar în această săptămână, studenții participanți la eveniment vor avea diferite activități prin care aceștia vor rămâne cu informații prețioase legate de cultura, politica și economia țării noastre. În continuare, aș vrea să îi las pe studenți să se prezinte. Can you please make a short presentation of yourself?
Yes. Hello, good evening, Adrian. My name is Mathilde. I'm 22 years old. I'm French, and I'm currently studying in Grenoble. It's a city in the Alps. I'm studying industrial engineering in master studies, now in my last year, in the Department of Mechanical.
Good evening, my name is Leonie Schwarzenbach. I'm from Munich and I'm studying there at the Munich University of Applied Sciences. And I'm also studying industrial engineering and management, but my main focus is on logistics. And it's a very interesting studies and I love to do it.
Okay, sounds very nice. I want to ask you, why did you choose to come to Târgu Mureș at Europe 3D? What was your main factors that influenced your decision?
Okay, so when I went on the STEAM portal, I saw many events, and I saw this one in Târgu Mureș in Romania, and actually I didn't know anything about Romania. I had never been there. It was a country that I didn't know. I have no Romanian friends. And so I was like, I think it's a good idea to go to this country, to go to this city, to get to know another country, another culture, and another way of living, new people also.
For me, it was my first event abroad with this team, and I wanted definitely to do a Europe 3D because if you participate in this event, you get the whole information about a country because it's about this 3D perspective. And so I saw it on the portal and said, okay, well, Romania, why not? And the program and the agenda, what we did, looked very, very nice. And then I said, I try something new, something I don't know about. And well, it was a very, very good decision.
I'm glad that you are here. And I would like to ask you to say some words. What kind of activities did you have this week during the event?
We had a very numerous activities, like different activities. For example, we were at the university. We did some workshops, so discussions and debates. For example, like on economical or political subjects, we had one politician of the country who came to discuss with us a bit about the political situation and politics in general in Romania. And we also had some economical discussions with teachers, but also students of Târgu Mureș. So it was really interesting because we got to know a lot of things.
We started with a lot of cultural things. What I really liked was the sightseeing tour, and we saw the city and explored all the places here in Târgu Mureș, and also had some discussions and lots of talks about the differences and the similarities of our different cultures, because we're students from France, from Estonia, one is from Brazil, and Romanian, and for me Germany. So there were lots of different things to talk about. And what I really liked was the language program, so we learned a few words in Romanian. I don't know, I remember it all, but I learned how to count or how to say, well, hello, my name is Leonie, and something like that. Yes, and then the other part was we went to 2 local companies, yesterday to Hirschmann, which was very interesting because it was something new, but not new because it was similar to some companies I know from Germany, but still it was different because we're in a different place. And today we went to Azumureș company, and that was really interesting because I've never been in a kind of chemical factory, and I learned a lot of new things.
If you have to choose from all these activities, which one will be the most pleasure, and who was the best activity? Which was the best activity?
For me, I would say that it was the discussion that we had yesterday in the afternoon at university with one of your teachers, English teacher. She was explaining to us her youth and how she lived in Romania. She was a bit younger, so it was the whole historical part of Romania that we don't know, because it was really different, for example, in France or in Germany. We didn't have this kind of event and history, and neither did our parents. So we don't, I think that we don't really know how it is, how it was like. And it's very interesting to get really to understand how it was through someone who has lived it.
Yeah,
it was really nice. Yeah, I loved it.
Okay.
My favorite activity so far was a game we played about culture, and it was like a quiz show or a quiz we did with a map. So we had 2 teams, and we had to conquer the counties of Romania, and so we learned about different things about the culture, about traditions, about language, about funny things, and it was really, really interesting. And after that I had another view and I think a really good knowledge about this country and the people who live in here.
So I suppose that you really enjoyed the activities,
yeah.
And I'm happy for that. In the next few minutes, I would like to ask you, why did you choose to study economical engineering and management at your university?
For me, it was more because I loved science and technology and technical subjects. But I think that in an industry or in a company, like in the working world, you cannot really work if you don't take into account the human and management aspects. So it was really interesting and important for me to have this aspect in my studies, and not just to study pure science or technology. That's why I chose to study in this industrial and management studies, because it was really global.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
For me, it's like I'm very interested in logistics and how everything is connected, how everything works. And one thing is, if you want to study logistics, in Munich you study industrial engineering and management with logistics. But the other thing is you need both of these fields, because you have the technical part on the one hand, how is logistics and technically works, but on the other hand you have to plan and to see how it works, and so you need both parts, the management and the engineering part.
I would like to ask you, because many people ask us, what do we do exactly? I mean, who we are. We are not engineering, we are not economical, what we are. And for that, I would like to ask you, how do you see that this specialization, economical engineering and management, can be can be integrated in the world of work, and what expectation do you have when you finish the studies?
You said that we were not economical and not engineering.
Yeah.
I think in fact we're a bit both. You know, if you want to have a project, you need these two aspects, the technology for sure in order to build your project in the industry, but also the management and more economical and soft skills part. And I think that it's like if you are studying in this field, you have a bit of these two disciplines combined, and yeah, it's very interesting because you have a global vision of everything. And for example, last year I did a 3-month internship in a company, so it was on a very technical part. So it was about robotics. So I had to implement robots in an industry, and for that, in order to build really my project like completely, I had to go and ask and speak with the workers in order to get to know what they were thinking, how were, for example, their conditions and their mind, for this project to be better, because I couldn't, for example, know exactly what was going on. And this part is really important to take into account if you want to succeed in what you're imagining and in what you're working on.
Mm-hmm. And what do you want to be employed when you study? Where do you want to work? Or I think that I would like to work in a automotive industry. I'm not sure, but I enjoy this domain section. But I don't know exactly what to do. I love science and technology, but I also love human contact and social interaction, because I think it's also very important. So the best way is for me to have both. That's why also I chose industrial engineering. So yeah, you think that it's very...
for me it's very important, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Leonie, what do you think?
So about your first question about the importance of industrial engineers in industry, I think it's a kind of visionary profession we are about to learn, and it's very important for the future because of globalization, and the world is running faster and faster, and you can't just do one field and then have your work and then put it to the next worker, and that's maybe old-fashioned. We need to think more visionary and in processes, because everything is connected together, and I think the future and the industry in the future needs people who know about these processes and how everything goes together, and that's what we are learning. We can think from one end to the other end, and we know about the management, but we also know about production and about what we do, not only how much it costs or which material we use. We know everything about it. Maybe we're not experts in everything, but that's made for other people. We are the ones who have the overview and know how it works together. And so I think that's the thing we should learn, we should continue. And I think maybe for me, I'd like to work maybe as a purchaser in maybe a technical field, because I think it combines both. If you buy parts for your company, they are like technical, but you also have this kind of management administrative side. So that's something I can imagine for now, but maybe changes.
As I understand, you both think that this field of work it's very important for each company, right? Yeah. Yeah. I'm also the same this impression. In a few moments, I would like to ask you, what is your impression by now about our local group, about STEAM Târgu Mureș? How did we manage to organize the event? How was the accommodation? How was the food? How was the activities? Yeah. If you want, Leonie, let's start with you.
Yeah. I like it very, very much. Your hospitality is so good, and I've never heard about the LG of Târgu Mureș before, but when we came to university and see all your members, there are so many people active in this local group, I realized how much things you're doing, because I think you told us about weekly workshops or presentations and some other events you're doing, and for your university, also for high school students, and I think that's really, really good, because you show your presence and your university, and I think for my age we can learn a lot about that. And also I was very happy about the kindness of everyone. I felt very, very, very welcome here.
For me, it's also a bit like Leonie. I was very impressed by how all the students are really involved in the local group. For example, first the organization was very good. We arrived and all the accommodation, all the food logistics, and all the discussions, debates that were organized at the university, everything was very well planned. And I had the impression that a lot of people, that your students are really involved in the local group. I mean, for example, in France, in my local group in Grenoble, we also organize some events during the year. And I had the feeling that my local group was a bit bigger than yours. But in fact, I think that the people from Grenoble are less involved during some events as you are. So I found it very good. And then, I thought that you were really welcoming us. We had really really pleasant stay here during the week, because we really felt like at home. You were very kind with us, and you welcomed us very, very nicely. So I really enjoyed you. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm glad that everything was fine and you really enjoyed everything that happened this week and will happen. For that I would like to thank to our university that help us with it. If you would have the chance to come back to Romania, would you do it, or maybe you will choose another city to visit?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I mean, because we visited a lot this city, and tomorrow we're going to another city, which I cannot pronounce the name. But while speaking with other people, they told us, oh, you should go here, you should visit also this other city. Yes, so I was thinking, we should definitely come back, but really visit another part of the country.
Yes, that's also my impression, because we saw so many pictures during the game or the discussion with the teacher she showed her things. Oh, yeah, that's the most beautiful castle she ever visited. It's like, oh, I want to go there definitely. So if I have the chance to come back, I'll do it.
Me too.
Yeah, I think you're right, because I would do the same if I would go in a country and I would enjoy the stay there. And yeah, maybe you can tell us if there are any more local groups in your country which are part of STEAM.
Yeah. So
are there? Or?
In my country, we are basically 2 or 3. I will explain. We are 2 local groups in France. That means Lyon and Grenoble, where I am from. But when you want to be part in a STEAM as a new local group, like if you are in a university and you want to create a local group, you have first to be like observer and guest during some time. I don't know if it's 1 year or 2 years.
I think it's 2 years.
2 years. So, for example, you can go to events to get to know the organization. You also go to the council meetings twice a year to really go into this association to know how it works, how to, for example, make recruitments for new people, and how to build your local group in your country. And so, for example, in France nowadays, there is a local group which is called Auvergne. It's in the city Clermont-Ferrand. And it is in this phase where it's not actually a real local group, but it's becoming one. So it has applied, it has been accepted, and now it's almost a local group. So there will soon be 3 local groups in France.
Oh, nice to hear that.
In Germany, I don't know the exact number of local groups because there are so many. I think it's more than 10. Munich is the most southern one, but we also have one in Hamburg, Berlin, Dresden in the east of the country, or Kaiserslautern in the west of the country. So there are really a lot of local groups and a lot of active STEAMers. Maybe the reason is because there's a kind of national network we also have for industrial engineering management students, and so they both go together. And most of STEAMers are members in both organizations.
We are a very big association. I would like to tell to the people who watch us that in Romania there are 2 local groups at Târgu Mureș and at Bucharest, and we really want to go further. We want to make improvements to our local group, so we will be better and we will be known in the whole Europe. And I hope that through these events we will manage to do that.
Yes, sure.
Yeah. In the end, I would like to ask you if you have any other, I don't know, feelings about Târgu Mureș. Did you like the city?
Yeah, actually, I love the city. It's very different from cities where I've been from now, because I love the colored buildings and the architecture. I find it really different from the architecture from which I am used to, and I love colored buildings, so I really enjoyed the city, which we discovered during a big city tour, so it was really nice for me. I love the city.
For me too, because I think there are lots of many small shops in the city, and it's very lively. That creates a really good feeling, and you recognize there are people, they live there, and they like to live there, and so that's the best feeling you can have in a city. So I really like it here. Yes.
Okay, nice. I'm glad, because I'm part of this city. I really like to see the impression, that impression of you. It's very good. Did you like our volunteers? Did they, I don't know, impress you? In bad or in a good way?
During the workshops, you mean?
Yeah, during the workshops.
I find it really interesting to have very different kind of people doing these workshops, because we had students organizing it, different students, so it was really nice. We had different visions and overviews, but we had also teachers and external people, so it was really, we had a big diversity, so it's becoming like, it makes it very interesting. So yeah, I liked it.
What I really liked was that I met some of your members of EOLG who told me that it was their first time they were speaking to someone who's not from Romania. But if they didn't tell me, I wouldn't have it recognized, because they acted like so professional, kind of, and with a really good English in my ears, and so I really enjoyed it, and how everybody was involved, and everybody was like part of the group, and not only 2 or 3 people organizing it, like everybody organized it, and that
Yeah,
it was a really good feeling.
Everybody put their ambition and motivation to do this event to be the great. In conclusion, I would like to thank to our university, UMFST, who provided us the accommodation and the food, and also to the administration and to Hirschman, the company which we visited yesterday, and Azomureș, which we visited today, and also to our teachers, Dana Rus and Mihaela Bucur, who help us with the activities and the workshops during the event. I would like to thank you for coming here and speaking about your impressions, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of presentation.
Yeah, thank you for welcoming us.
It was a pleasure.
Vă mulțumim tuturor celor care ne-au urmărit și vă mai așteptăm și la alte emisiuni.